I'm going to do a conversion on a handle, a full wrap handle. I was watching a video recently and saw that another guy did the same thing, so I'm going to try to replicate what he did and go from there. What we have is a 365 372 XP full wrap handle. It's OEM. I bought it from a guy, and I'll show you the address. Pause that if you guys need to check that out. But this is where I got it from. And when I purchased this, I was a little skittish on the price because it was $29, free shipping, and I was like, man, there's no way this could be real. Then I saw another post on Facebook. I said, yeah, it's legit. I was like, okay, now it's got me, wanting to save a few dollars, so I jump on it and I buy it. 4 days later, it's sitting on my table. So let's take it out of the plastic. I know there's a hole there somewhere. And let's just go ahead and make a new hole. This is OEM. Comes with all the part numbers. This right here tells you it actually shows you how to mount and everything. This one came with a set of dogs too, so which is great because if I ever get me a 365 or 372, I have a set of dogs to throw on. The inner and the outer, and it does come with the screws too, which is awesome. Let's get this off of there. Big foam piece. I know what I'm getting ready to share. You guys are going to be like, well, why'd you do that? 29 bucks. 29 bucks. Could you imagine calling up Husqvarna and going, hey, you guys have any full wrap handles? And they say, yeah. 175 bucks. I think I'll take my chances with 29 bucks. Oh, for those. This is welded to each other, so for video purpose, this is not OEM for this particular saw. And the saw that we're going to stick this on is this 272. From the video that I saw, let me get you guys down here. From the video that I saw, this bolts right up to these two holes right here, so I won't have a problem with it bolting up here. Now down there is a different story. I'm going to have to customize. So let's back you guys up a little tiny bit and take the OEM bar off. What I really need to do is take this top back off too. I purchased this top off of eBay too for I think it was like 16 bucks. And no, it's not OEM because it had the T right here, and this is from China. But try to find you an OEM top for one of these saws. It will absolutely drive you insane. So that's the reason why I bought an aftermarket one. What I plan to do after my piston and my cylinder and all my other little parts get here, I got this grounded down. I got the T off of it, so I plan on getting me the smallest Husqvarna emblem I can find, possibly, and put it on there. I don't know if I'll be able to find one, but I'm still looking. Okay. Take the bolts out. Put this thing over. This works like I saw it in the other video. For me, I am, however, going to sell this one. It's in really good shape. There's no cracks or big scratches or anything like that, and the wrap on it is in really good shape. Let's see. Got a little bit of oil I need to wipe off. Okay, what we need to do is just start by just sitting it on there and see what it looks like. That's what the guy did first. Might have to move this big rubber piece up a little tiny bit. Because I need to know if it's going to bolt up to there. OEM holes. They're spot on. Only difference is this square piece right here, I'm going to have to cut at an angle a little tiny bit. So let's get this started. There's just no right or wrong way to do this. It's going to go away from me. How can we do this without hurting myself? Found a way. Get rid of the shavings. To those that's going to say the particles and all that stuff, my garage door is open, my back door is open, so I've got airflow. But still, there's going to be one or two people say something about it. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to grind a little tiny bit on this flat spot here. So let's just lay it across there. I can smooth this stuff out here in a second. Okay. Oh, particles. So I didn't really take that long down much, just a real tiny bit. So let's lay it back on there. He said to start with the back handle hose first, which looks like to me, I get to go down in there. They line right up really well, actually. So what we're going to do is we'll try to ever so slightly in on this. Okay, back over. Okay. So if you look at the OEM one, how the thickness is right here, you got the bevels right here, they're countersunk, right? Well, the ones on the 365, 372 full wrap do not have countersunk. They're actually back on the outside right here, so they're this way instead of going down in, so you've got room to play with tightness of the screw itself. Okay, to me that looks pretty good. It's I'll show you guys here. See, all I really did is made it look like the actual spot where it sits in there. So I cut that straight off and I grounded this down just a tiny bit, not a whole lot. So look at the bottom here. Yeah, we know this is not going to line up whatsoever. So what we're looking for, what I saw that guy do, is this hole right here on this side of the bar is going to line up with that hole on the outside towards the clutch. This side over here will not. So he cut right here in the middle, and he cut, if I'm not mistaken, the only thing he really done was put these two pieces right here together. He cut this flat right here where they'll sit on top of each other and bolt right up to this hole, because this hole is off by just probably that much. See, this hole over here, he had to ground it down in there, and he got it to actually fit into the other hole towards the flywheel side. So to those out there thinking that you can't find a full wrap for a 272, this right here proves that you can do this. I know it's going to sit right up against that right there, and it probably will cause a little bit of vibration problems, but let's bolt it in and see what we're looking at. Well, it's sitting right on top of it, but I'm not worried about that, because if I needed to, I can take my Dremel and Dremel this out so where it's not sitting on the plastic. We don't want it to sit on the plastic because this is a new piece of plastic, and I don't want the vibration to actually cause a crack across this plastic. So that's what I'm going to do, is Dremel that off a little tiny bit. Just tracing it so I know exactly where to start on that. With, looking at it right there, right up against that, you really are not going to have to take a whole lot off of that. The back side it's great. It's away from the plastic far enough where it's not even touching, but the front side is. So let's take the plastic back off. I'm going by what the guy did in his video. I never imagined that I could actually find something like this for this saw. I've done this before too. took quite a bit off. Yep, I'm gonna go get my air compressor. I don't know. It seems like that's passing it back down. Only one way to really figure it out. Oh boy. I know what it is. It's the bottom. Right there. Because I know whenever I push it over like that, it's getting it away from it. So it's causing it to pull with this, you know, like this. So let's take the top back off and work on the bottom. 72 or 365. With that original bar, oh yeah, it's definitely light. Okay. Yeah. Keep it from rocking, so I can line up the holes correctly. Only way to really know on this right here, this side over here will clear whenever you put your clutch cover on. I do know that. So that hole is there. That hole is there. Oh, let's see. I know in that guy's video, he separated it right here, and I think he cut this whole entire piece off right here. And what he did was he bent this a little bit so that it would come to the mounting holes. Let's see. Let's look at the bottom ones on this one, the original. They're kind of the same, like the same thickness of the handle. Well, the aluminum, I should say. So, just cutting the weld. Now, we've got something to work with now. Okay. Now that those are separated, the holes are moved out. So, I know that by doing that, it may flex more. So it's off like a quarter of an inch. See the two marks? The outer ones are the originals, and the inner ones are the ones I just done. I know it looks like it's not going to set flat, but once you get this all cut out and measured, the saw will come down and make contact with the bar. That, and it's going to push this away from right here. That's what I've seen in the video, so that's what we're going by. I know what some of you guys are thinking, man, why would you take a perfectly good bar and massacre it like that? Try to find you a 272 full wrap. That's all I gotta say about that. No, I'm not gonna cut it completely off, because by looking at it from this angle, you can see it a lot better now. So instead of cutting it completely off, I know exactly what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna come out to the end of that bevel right there where it countersinks in to where you actually put your screw in on a 365 or a 372. I'm gonna cut there. That right there will give me actually 1/2 of an inch to work with. I never have the stuff that I need laying out. Typical guy, right? Push that piece down. Let's go back at it. Ooh, that's a little warm. Good thing about aluminum, it's easy to cut and easy to break. Got it all over the bench now. Oh, so by looking at it from there, I know you guys can't really tell it, but that right there actually gave me some strength to the handle by going in towards the other bolt hole. If I can, I'll find me a little tiny piece of steel, drill holes through it, and put these together like a 390 XP and some of the older chainsaws with the full wraps. I'll try my best to find one for it. A piece of metal. Okay, now what I want to do is just cut this to where those actually meet up, because they're like this. I want them to meet up like that. So I'm going to cut this pull cover side off. Okay, making sure it's not making contact with my my tank. So now I'm going to take these screws out, since I got my hole marked. And see, if I cut that off, they're going to meet up right there in the middle. Yeah. Guess I'm just gonna have to hold it. Yep. Only thing I don't like about cutting aluminum, it holds heat pretty good, like steel. It will hold it pretty good. See, now I can push them. He pushed them together like that, drill his hole here and here, and it bolted right on to it. Let's put it back on there and test fit it one more time to make sure. This one will go easy. This one, however, it's going to take a little tiny bit of turning. I got something I can actually put that in to make it turn a little tiny bit more. All I needed to do is this piece right here will be okay. That piece will have to be pushed. So, okay, drill bits. Those over there. See, I'm not 100%, so I always check and recheck myself. Always do this. I want to put it right there. Over here. This inner line is where I'm going to put the next hole. Okay, if you see your handles, the screws for your handles, you see that it's not going to completely go down in there. It's sitting on top of it, so I'm going to have to countersink it just a little tiny bit. Okay, I cut a little bit of the rubber off because I've already tried to test fit this onto the saw itself, and on this side right here, it was actually holding up the saw, keeping it from going down into the slot itself. Okay, now it looks way better than what it did. Full disclaimer, anybody out there that wants to massacre one of these, you're gonna be doing what I'm doing. Trial and error until you get it to fit right. I honestly think a little bit here. Leave that out a little tiny bit. I'll let that move back and forth a little bit. Because when you get over here on this side, this is the hard part. This one over here is real easy. This one, you got to work with it a little tiny bit to get it to go down. What you want to do is you want to put it in there a little tiny bit, and you want to work the other one in there too. I figured it out. It took me a little bit, but I figured it out. This one actually lines up better than this one does. I mean, you can see it's still off-centered, but you pull that one down, as you screw it in, it falls right into place. It's actually kind of hard to do. This one, just barely on it, and it goes right in the spot. Now it's on there. And remember how I said that I can get a piece of metal to go in between right here on the bolts? Don't think I'll have that problem now. Now, over here on this side, pull them in. Tiny bit. It's on there. Let's put the cover on. See what it looks like. Remember how we was worried about that gap? Is it sitting against it now? Nope, it's way far away from it now. I kind of figured that after working with this side and this side to actually come together. I know that it would push it away from it a little tiny bit. But, like, look, I know it's not going to sit level because of that rubber piece over here on this side. But to me, I think it turned out pretty good. You just gotta work with it to get it to fit. Go from that to that. And it I think it looks real good, actually. I mean, I've seen the actual the actual full wraps for these saws, and they're straight across. They ain't got that little bend in them, right? Because this side wants to go in and actually go in just like this, because you can see it goes over and back just like that. And then whenever you add in the wrap part, it wants to go out. So because you can look at it like that, see, it wants to go out that way. So you just got to keep working with it until it runs completely flat in the slot. And I know that this side right here is up a little tiny bit over on this side, but this side right here is in the slot, and that's due to this right here coming all the way out onto this part right here. But we won't know until we actually get the motor and cylinder, well, get the cylinder and everything back together and fire this thing up, if it's going to actually stay together, because I know vibration will cause that to either shift, or it will break, or it will cause the screws to back out. So before you guys run out and buy you a full wrap and stick it on this saw, and if yours runs, just modify it like I did and run it for a little bit to see if the screws are going to back out, or if it's going to mess with your tank at any point. If it does, just buy your aftermarket tank. They're like, what, I've seen some of them go for like $12 on eBay. They have them shipped from China, or you can find somebody in the US that has them. A 61 all the way up to a 272 tank will actually fit this saw. So yeah, I think it looks killer. I like it a whole lot, actually. That hole for the spring that goes on the cylinder, just it looks weird, because, you know, looking at this one, it just looks weird. That's how, see that bend right there? That's what we're fighting against on the full wrap, because that one does not have a bend. This over here needs to go that way towards the back of the handle. But it's on there. Bad part is I'm gonna have to take it back off until I get all the cylinder and the muffler and everything, the carburetor and everything back on here. So yay for me, right? But I hope this helps somebody, because it surely helped me watching that guy do his video on his. So this actually helped me. Doing this is a whole lot different than, watching somebody else do it. And if you don't have a Dremel, you can use a grinder, but you got to be steady as can be with it. That's why I like the battery powered ones, and you ain't got to worry about the cord being on the back of them, touching your arm and all that stuff, so you can lay it down and just barely touch stuff with it. I worked on battery trays a lot for underground, so we cut a lot of metal with grinders, so that's how I actually got good at using a grinder. So I hope this helps somebody. I think it turned out great. I think it looks great. Only time will tell if it's going to do any kind of damage to the tank itself. So I will do a part 2 to this actual video after I get it all together and use the saw and see what kind of damage it's going to do. Because if it does do the damage, I'm going to tell everybody, please don't buy the handles, because they're going to damage your tank. You just have to see if you can find somebody that knows how to custom make a handle. But till the next video, you guys have a wonderful day.